Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here with me today for another one of my live trainings. My name is Danae Wolf. I am a financial clarity coach and a profit strategist, which means that I help entrepreneurs like you understand the number side of your business so that you can increase profits and decrease stress. Today, I am publishing this training into my Facebook group, The Profit Factor, my YouTube channel, also known as The Profit Factor, and I've also got it live streaming into my Facebook business page, The Chic CFO. Now, we also download this audio and put it onto our podcast, also known as The Profit Factor. You guys can find that on Apple Podcasts. Now, today's training, I am really excited to do because typically in these weekly trainings, you guys get very tactile strategy from me. So something along the lines of here's how you reconcile your bank account in QuickBooks, right? Here's the best way to store your receipts. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We're not talking about sort of the actual operational steps of managing your money. We're getting a little bit more into mindset because it is the week of Thanksgiving. And I wanted to acknowledge that and talk about how having an attitude of gratitude can impact your bank balance. Okay. Now, I know that sounds odd. And for some of you, it might sound a little frou-frou that I'm saying, hey, just be thankful, have this attitude of gratitude, and you're going to make more money. I know how that sounds. So what I did was go on the hunt to find something to really back this up because I have read so many books on how having an attitude of gratitude can really elevate your life. And I really believe in it. Before I even get out of bed in the morning, I actually set my alarm early and then hit the snooze. I don't know how many of you also hit the snooze button, but I love the snooze button. And not because I actually go back to my snoozing, but because that is when I take time to think about all of the things I'm grateful for. And I notice if I start my day like that, if I start my day by just laying in bed, this isn't something you guys have to overthink, right? I'm just laying in bed and I'm just in my mind thinking about all of the things I'm grateful for, right? So rather than being like, oh, my alarm's going off because I have to get downstairs and cook breakfast for my kids and pack their lunches and get them to school, instead, I think, how grateful am I that I get to do that? You know, there's some parents who are up and at 'em and out the door before their kids even wake up. And, you know, they wish that they were waking up to go make breakfast for their kids. So it's this little mindset shift that I do at the beginning of my day that really helps set the tone, right? And helps you, instead of saying, ugh, I have to go downstairs and pack lunches, be like, I get to pack lunches for my kids today. I get to be present. I get to make sure that they had a nice warm breakfast, where some parents are rushing out the door and didn't even get to see their kids before they started their workday. So what I found in searching this, because I wanted to come to you guys with something evidence-based. I didn't want this to seem like just like a frou-frou mindset, because that's not what I do, right? I teach you guys numbers, which are very black and white. So I wanted to stay in my lane. And what I found, because I was looking for something to back up this idea that having an attitude of gratitude can impact your bank balance, I found that there was a study published in the Journal of Psychological Science that said feelings of gratitude can combat a tendency toward instant gratification. And what they found was that when we eliminate our natural human nature that looks for instant gratification, we also eliminate the need to swipe our credit card. Because what is one of the best ways to get instant gratification, right? Go buy something, right? If you're feeling down, what do we say? We treat ourselves, right? So you might be treating yourselves with a pair of new shoes, a new purse. You might be treating yourselves with a hot fudge sundae, but no matter the treat, you had to buy it, right? So gratitude can actually reduce impulse spending. So let's walk through this again and make sure that you guys are understanding how we're getting to this, right? What is the thought process? So again, when we practice an attitude of gratitude and you get yourself to a place where you're thankful for what you have, right? Turning it around and not saying, I have to go to work today, right? Saying, I get to go to work today. And there are people who wish they had somewhere to go to work today, right? They're looking for a job and they can't find it. So taking that mindset shift of saying, this is what I'm thankful for. This is what I am grateful for today. When we do that, it creates an inherent happiness in you. I know that when I'm exhausted and that alarm goes off and I'm like, I got to go downstairs and make eggs, right? I don't want to get out of bed and go make eggs. But when I think about the fact that I am so grateful that I didn't leave the house to go to a job an hour before my children even woke up, it completely changes my perspective. And in doing that, in thinking about being thankful and grateful and really practicing this attitude of gratitude, and I use the word practice because you've got to get into this daily habit, right? It's not something that you guys are going to just one day wake up and run through everything you're thankful for, and that's it. You did it once and that's it. No, it's a daily practice. This is a daily ritual. It needs to become a part of your regular routine. And when you do it enough and you start to really think about and identify all the parts of your life that you're grateful for, you inevitably become happier. All right. And I know if you've never done this, right? If you've never actually tried this practice of gratitude, you don't know what I'm talking about when I say it can lead to happiness. But those of you who have tried it, and some of you might be like, yes, I practice gratitude every day. I know exactly what you mean. Some of you might be like, you know what? I used to do that and I was happier. It's inevitable. If you are consistently taking time each day to practice gratitude and focus on the things you're grateful of, you become happier. And once we are happier, we're not searching for an instant gratification as much, right? I don't want it to make it sound so black and white that you're never looking for instant gratification. Yes, we're humans. We always want things to instantly bring us gratification. But practicing gratitude gets you in a better mental state that you're not off looking and searching for this instant gratification as much, which reduces impulse spending. Because feeling grateful, right? Practicing that doesn't put you in a situation where you're searching for something to bring you that peace and happiness. So it's proven, again, let me just give you guys where I got this from. It's proven from this study and the Psychological Journal of Science, but I can tell you just for me, I see it as being true in my life. Now, you guys have probably heard a lot of shiny object syndrome, right? We see something that we just have to have because it's a shiny new object and we want in on that. Well, why do we want in on that? Because we want that instant gratification. And what we know is that feeling grateful leads to feelings of contentment. That feeling of contentment prevents shiny object syndrome. Because when you already feel content with your life, because you've chosen to focus on what you have as opposed to what you don't have, you're not out searching for something. And you guys know, I say it all the time. I feel very strongly that most things in life come back to money, right? That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I think as much as people try to make money evil and make it faux pas to talk about, how many times you guys heard the saying, like, follow the money, right? Even everything with politics, follow the money. Like it all comes back to money. So even us in our general human nature looking for ways to be happier, we tend to think that means I need to buy X, Y, and Z, right? Because we're throwing money at a problem. But if we were practicing this attitude of gratitude on a daily basis, and I didn't say regular basis, guys, I said daily. I want this to be a part of your daily routine. Find what works for you. I find that anytime you try to incorporate a habit in your life, if it's not something that really works for you, you're not going to do it. You're not going to stick to it. For me, I can hit the snooze button all day long. So I said, all right, I have no problem hitting the snooze button on the alarm and doing my practice of gratitude then, because I never really fall into a deep sleep after I hit the snooze. Like I am just laying there. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. So figure out what your perfect timing is. It might be your drive to the office. It might be your morning shower, right? Figure out what's going to work for you, because if it works for you, you'll actually do it. But when you get to this place of incorporating this daily habit of practicing gratitude, you're gonna feel this contentment, because instead of laying in bed thinking of what you don't have or what you wished you had, you're going to focus on the good, right? There is a silver lining in everything, right? There are things to be happy about every single day if we choose to notice them. And I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, what we focus on, we create more of. So when we focus on what we're grateful for, we start to notice even more things we're grateful for. And while I want you guys to really think about what works with you in your schedule, one thing I would encourage you is to at least try to see if you could make this practice of gratitude fit into either your morning or your evening, because I think it's a really powerful way to start your day. And I think it's a really powerful way to end your day. And that's when I think it's going to be most beneficial. But if you're like, hey, I go for a walk every day at 2 o'clock, that's when I want to do it. Whatever works for you. The next point that I found in my research of trying to give you guys some, real life evidence of how practicing gratitude can impact your bank account in the positive, right? So number one, we've got that practicing gratitude makes you more content. And when you're more content, you're not looking as much to have instant gratification, which comes with impulse spending. So practicing gratitude should really cut down on impulse spending that is taking place really just to help you feel happier. And you can get that contentment rather than swiping your credit card. You can get it from incorporating this practice of daily gratitude. Now, the next thing is feeling grateful promotes generosity. All right. And especially this time of year, right? It's holiday season. We all need to be searching for the generous part of our soul, right? Because if ever there's a time to pay it forward, it's this time of year, right? And those of you who are like, I don't have any money to be generous, I got you covered. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be doing a live training on how to do that. But for today, for the points of this training, when you feel grateful, it promotes generosity. So you start, you know how they say misery loves company? I'm sure you guys have heard that. Well, happiness also wants company, right? So when we get to a place where we're able to feel so thankful for what we have in our life, right? We've got this contentment. We really want to spread it. And we want other people to feel like we feel, just like the people who are miserable. Why do they love company? Because they want you to feel miserable too. Well, when you're happy and content, you want to spread the word. You want other people to feel that way. So it promotes this idea of generosity. And now you're thinking, how can I give back? And what happens is you start to look at your budget and you start to manage it better, because you've got this newfound goal and desire to be able to give. So from feeling happier, grateful, thankful, you're going to start saying, I want to spread this, right? I want more people to feel as good as I feel. And you go down the rabbit hole of seeing what you can do in your community and how you can pay it forward. And you're like, I would love to be able to donate Christmas presents to this charity this year. Let me take a look at my budget, right? Because inevitably, when we think about giving back or doing anything charitable, the first thing that comes to mind is always money. Now, again, in a couple weeks, I'm going to give you guys some outside of the box thinking on how we can give it forward, even if we don't, have much money to spare. But and essentially, we all know when we first think, we want to make a donation, we want to do something, everybody's thinking about money. So when you get to the point where you're so content and you're feeling generous and you want to spread the love, so to speak, it forces you to look at your spending, and you get better money management skills because you want to make sure that you have money to allocate to help spread the love, right? So happy people can have a really great impact on those around them because they want to spread it, right? Just like we know those miserable people, right? They spread their misery all over the place, right? So we really want to be able to spread the happiness rather than the sadness. So I think there's so many different components to this, right? Number one, I'm living proof, right? I can tell you what starting my day with gratitude does, right? It's this simple mindset shift of, it's not that I have to do this, it's that I get to do this, right? Let me be thankful that I get to do this, right? I don't want to work out. Let me be thankful that I can work out, that I don't have some type of a condition that prevents me from working out. Let me be thankful that I was able to make the time in my day to work out, right? Having these simple mindset shifts, right? Being thankful and appreciative of what you have. What you focus on, you create more of. So the more and more we focus on what we're thankful for, the more and more things we're going to receive in our life that we are thankful for. It's all cyclical. And what it does is get you to a happy place. And when you're happy, you're not looking for the latest trend to purchase. You're not looking for some shiny object to put a band-aid on the way you're feeling, right? Practicing gratitude yields contentment. Happy people spread the love. Happy people don't impulse spend and run around making purchases thinking it's going to make them happy. So I hope that this helped whoever needed it, right? And you know who you are. If you're listening to this and you're like, I never thought to think differently. I never thought to consider, hey, this isn't something that I have to do. This is something I get to do, right? These little mindset shifts. And I know this is where I start to get a little bit of imposter syndrome and feel a bit like I should stay in my lane. And my lane is numbers and very analytical and black and white and not so much talking about this mindset stuff. But I do feel empowered to talk about it just because I did it, right? The same way you guys know I took myself out of entrepreneurial poverty. I lived it, so I teach about it. Well, I've lived this too. This is something I do in my daily life. I know what focusing on what we're thankful for can do, and it can completely change your life. And I was able to bring it full circle and present it to you today because we've also got the evidence that it can increase your bank account. And I know that's what you guys tune in for, right? I tell you, I'm going to teach you how to increase profits and decrease stress. So I hope you were able to see how this came full circle today. If you are here watching on the replay, let me know in the comments, #replay. And if you have any stories of how practicing an attitude of gratitude has impacted you, please share them in the comments. Or if you're just like, this is how I do it every day, let us know. Share it. We're all looking for ideas. I know some people write it down. For me, I was like, I'm not going to write that down every day. I know myself, right? Not going to happen. I'm going to say I'm going to do it, but it's not going to actually happen. But I knew I would hit snooze every day. Like I knew I could make that commitment. I've been hitting snooze since high school. So I knew I was going to be able to do that. And I just said, let me make better use of my time. Maybe when you pick up your kids from school and you sit in that line, right? We all know the long line at pickup. Maybe you could do it then. And in that moment where you normally feel frustrated that you lost 20 minutes of your day, right, in this line, instead have that mindset shift and say, no, I don't have to pick up my kids today. I get to pick up my kids. And there's a lot of moms sitting at work right now. This actually gets me a little choked up. There's a lot of moms sitting at work right now who wish they could pick up their kids from school right now. And I get to sit here in the pickup line and do it. And while I'm here, I'm going to focus on all the other things that I'm grateful for, because there's stuff to be grateful for, but we have to choose to focus on it. There's always things that are wrong in our lives, in everyone's lives, right? Nobody's perfect, but we get to choose what we focus on. And I hope you guys take this season to really choose to focus on what you're grateful for. Thanks for listening, and I will